Good afternoon, Rochester Memorial students and families. Mr. Medeiros here with this week's Medeiros Minute. Boys and girls, I want to thank you for a great week of learning. It certainly was an outstanding week here of learning at RMS, so thank you very much. Boys and girls, parents and guardians, a reminder, grades 1 through 6, trimester 2 grades closed today. Our trimester 2 ends for all students in those classes, grades 1 through 6. Therefore, our teachers will be finalizing report cards, and those report cards will go home with all students in grades 1 through 6 on Wednesday, March 31st for all grade 1 and 2 students, as well as all cohort B students, grades 3 through 6. And then they will go home with our grade 3 through 6 cohort A students on Thursday, April 1st. So a reminder, today was the last day of trimester 2, so those grades are closing, and report cards will go home with all students grades 1 and 2, as well as cohort A on Wednesday, March 31st. I'm sorry, cohort B. And then cohort A students will have their report cards go home Thursday, April 1st. Also a reminder, boys and girls, parents and guardians, this Monday is a full day of professional development for our teachers. Therefore, there is no school for students. There are no school for students on Monday, March 22nd, as it is a full day of professional development. Just a reminder to everyone, we typically do not have a full professional development day in March. This is to replace the opening day that we typically have for teachers in August. So our first week of school, we usually start on a Tuesday. That Monday is usually an opening day or welcome back day for our staff. And this is to replace that. Just to remind everyone that obviously, this school year, the first 10 days was designated by the Department of Elementary and Secondary Ed as planning days for reopening due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So that PD day, that welcoming day for staff was moved to Monday, March 22nd. So a reminder to all of you that there is no school this Monday due to PD. Parents and guardians, as we always look to improve our arrival and dismissal procedures out back, I think we've done an outstanding job. As I've thanked you, many of you, for your patience and really following the protocols back there of picking up in your different locations, and then also staying in the vehicle and being able to head out in a timely manner. We want to make one tweak and adjustment. So we've noticed out back that some of our parents and guardians are arriving anywhere between 1:35 and 2 p.m. So obviously we have fresh air spaces out there. We know those spaces are also for arrival and dismissal, but we also utilize them throughout the school day, not only for specialists, but also for fresh air breaks. And I know our teachers sometimes, especially as the weather is going to be warming up here, our teachers will use some of those spaces back there in our driveway or right in the sidewalk spot for lessons or for reading or for some sort of a hands-on activity. So with that said, we're asking that parents do not start to line up back there until 2:15 p.m. This will allow our students and staff to be able to use those locations out back for either a specialist area or a classroom area or a fresh air space for their classroom, and we don't have vehicles idling and causing it to be an unsafe space for our students out back. So if we could please have parents that are getting here for pickup, if we could have parents not lining up until 2:15 p.m. or later, that would be greatly appreciated. Any questions about that, please feel free to contact myself or Mr. West. Boys and girls and parents and guardians, as we talk about in the district improvement plan, as well as our school improvement plan now over the last 3 years, and we will continue to do so over the next couple of years, as well as our plans. If you recall, the district improvement plan spans over a 5-year period, and right now we're currently in year 3. Technology is a main focus of that plan, not only just technology integration in the classroom, but finding ways that we can ensure our students are utilizing technology appropriately, and doing so in the right manner as we talk about digital citizenship and digital footprints and things of that nature. With that said, we've had some different opportunities for parents and guardians and families, and as well as students, to learn how to ensure that we're using technology appropriately. Obviously, Mrs. Solauer does an outstanding job with that through her media center. As well as collaboration in the classroom with classroom teachers. We've had district events like Screen Agers and other events where we've had videos and then Q&A sessions with families. We've had panels made up of staff and other outside consultants that have come in and helped. So we want to make sure we're continuing to do so. So as we know, technology, internet, and social media are a big part of our lives. From the moment we wake up to the time we go to sleep, it can be an overwhelming thing, technology. Our students' ongoing accessibility to social media, group chat platforms, text messaging, using technology and websites and platforms for instruction. is definitely significant, and is definitely a major tool for their communication. With that said, as I mentioned, we know this is a focus for our families. I'm sorry, a focus of our district improvement plan as well as our school improvement plan. So, with this Medeiros Minute email, you will see some links that Mr. West and I are sharing with you. Just nice links, nice tools that you, as parents and guardians, can look through and maybe even look through them with your child, your student, but certainly to look through yourself so that you can equip yourself with some tools in order to help your student and your child navigate through some technology. One of the things we also want to do is we also want to pass along a few simple tips that can help our parents when trying to help your child safely navigate internet and social media and technology. For example, some basic guidelines: spend time online together, teach our children appropriate online behavior. When possible, keep the computer in a common area where you can watch and monitor its use, not in individual bedrooms or individual rooms of the home. Monitor any time spent on smartphones or tablet. Bookmark your child's favorite sites for easy access. Check your credit card or phone bills for unfamiliar account charges. Find out what, if any, online protection is offered by your local internet provider. And take your child seriously if he or she reports any uncomfortable online exchange. So, as always, we love proficient two-way communication with our families and collaboration. So we hope that you find these tips helpful and you find these links helpful as we all try to help our children navigate technology and internet and social media platforms. Any questions about that, please don't hesitate to contact myself, Mr. West, Mr. Solau, our media specialist, or even a member of our social emotional team here at Rochester Memorial. They would be happy to help out with this. Parents and guardians, boys and girls, I know we're all very excited for our full pivot to full in-person learning here on April 5th. Parents and guardians, I just want you to know we do have a question and answer session that we will be conducting for all of you. That Q&A session will take place on Tuesday, March 30th, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. A separate email will be sent out with a Zoom link invite, so no worries, that email will go out so that you can mark that on your calendar, but also wanted to inform you today so you can mark those calendars as early as this afternoon. Once again, Q&A session to take place Tuesday, March 30th, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. So just a couple things that the Rochester Memorial Reopening Task Force has worked on. So just to remind everyone, the Reopening Task Force is a committee that we put together of multiple stakeholders, not just obviously our staff here, but we have parents on that committee, school committee members, myself, Mr. West, and that Reopening Task Force really has done an amazing job all school year, going way back to the summer when we were working on what school was going to look like in initial reopening, and then again in the middle of the year for our K-1-2 pivot, and now again for our grades 3 through 6 pivot. So with that said, just some things that we've been planning and that you'll see in the presentation in that Q&A session on March 30th. A couple things that will be highlighted. So our K-2, except for Mrs. Bradley's class, will be staying the same around student desk spacing. So our K and first grade, as well as Ms. Tupolsky and Mrs. Alves' class, will be staying the same from a 6-foot desk space distancing for students. Reason for that is so that students can eat their snacks safely in the classroom and breakfast safely as well. Now, with the new guidance that's come out, those classroom teachers will be able to bring students a little closer together, so may be able to conduct more small group reading lessons or more small group math instruction lessons, more teacher table time, as we're able to get those students closer together. But from a landscape standpoint and just a design standpoint, the student desks in our K, first grade, as well as Ms. Tupolsky and Mrs. Alves' class will stay at our 6-foot distancing. Mrs. Bradley's second grade class will be shifting back to our gymnasium. We'll be shifting from the gymnasium back to our classroom with those students' desks a little closer than 6 feet apart. But I know those students in Mrs. Bradley's class are excited to go back to the grade 2 wing, and we're excited for them. And reason being is we need 2 locations for lunch. So we have our cafeteria set up with our student desks 6 feet apart, but we need a secondary space in order to account for all of our students to return in grades 3 through 6, and that is going to be our gymnasium. As the guidance says, there needs to be a strict 6-foot distance when students are reading, because obviously their mask will be off. So with that said, our lunch and recess schedule will stay the same. We're trying to keep as much consistency as possible for our students. And as I mentioned, we will now have 2 locations to eat, our cafeteria and our gymnasium. More information about that will take place will come out, I'm sorry, in the presentation at the Q&A session on March 30th. Our specialist schedule is also going to stay the same, so we're very excited about that. So not only will our students have some consistency with lunch and recess, they'll have that consistency in their specialist schedule as well. Obviously, arrival and dismissal, one of the things for the district survey that we asked all families to answer was whether or not students would still be in a parent or guardian vehicle or would be transitioning to the bus. So we appreciate that data and those responses. In order to help, obviously, we'll have more vehicles out back for our parent pickup and drop off. One of the things that we will be opening up, and there'll be a nice visual in the presentation during the Q&A session, is we will be opening up the parking lot that goes to the well house out back in order to have more vehicles. It will be somewhere around 18 to 20 vehicles will be able to continue along the perimeter of that blacktop area where our well house is, so to help continue to alleviate the traffic on the road. I think we've done an excellent job, and I thank all of you. I thank Mr. West and Mr. Forns and all of our paraprofessionals who are out back. I know Ms. Russo helps out as well with parent pickup back there. I feel like it's been improving each and every week, which has been great. And our vehicles are not spending a tremendous amount of time out here on Pine Street, which helps keep everyone safe and helps our traffic flow. So we'll be making that adjustment, and I'll continue to bring that up here in these Medeiros Minute videos, as well as I mentioned, there'll be some nice visuals that'll be on the presentation for that Q&A session. So a little tweak there to our arrival process and dismissal process in order to account for the full in-person return for our grades 3 through 6. Speaking of the district survey, I want to thank all of our parents and guardians. We, at this point, have a response from every single family here at Rochester Memorial in terms of that survey. The survey is now closed, and what a great accomplishment. I'm so thankful for Mrs. Aberray, Mrs. Amato, and Mr. West, who followed up with some phone calls for some folks that may have missed it or only filled it out for one child. They have multiple children and missed the directions there to fill it out for all individual students in the household. So I want to thank all of you for taking the time to fill out yet another survey. I know the surveys have been a little overwhelming this year, but very important to have your responses and have that data to ensure that we have everything planned out for a safe return for our students here, making sure we're creating the best plan so that our students can come back to school here on April 5th. So thank you, parents and guardians, for filling out that survey. Boys and girls, this month of March, we focused on assertiveness as part of our CARES motto and how being assertive helps us with our relationship skills. When we maintain healthy and rewarding friendships, we can manage the different demands while at school. We can resist peer pressure by being assertive, doing what we know is the right thing to do, and successfully manage conflict constructively, talking it through and getting help from adults when needed. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Fingers crossed the weather holds up for us. Looks like it should be a nice warm weekend where we can enjoy some outdoor fun. Boys and girls, remember, please take care of yourselves, take care of others, and take care of your environment.